The UFC absolutely needs to make Alexander Volkanovski versus Movsar Evloev next for the UFC featherweight title. And if they don't, this sport is a complete and utter disgrace. And since UFC 314, where Alexander Volkanovski became the two-time featherweight champion, I've seen Jean Silva call for an undeserved title shot, which we're going to discuss. We're going to look at a couple clips as well. We're going to listen to Yair Rodriguez call for an undeserved title shot. We're going to listen to Aaron Pico justify an undeserved title shot. We're going to listen to Ariel Helwani and his boys essentially push for undeserved title shots. And lastly in this video, we are going to look at what Movsar Evloev has to say. And I promise you, the people who are hating on him for literally no reason are going to be flabbergasted about what Movsar Evloev has to say in his most recent interview. So the first thing I want to start with, we have a lot to discuss. The UFC official rankings. Oh my, I could go off for 2 hours. The UFC official rankings. What an absolute joke the UFC official rankings are. Look at this. I mean, is this not complete garbage? Look at this. Max Holloway is sitting at number 1. Diego Lopez is sitting at number 2. Ilia Topuria is sitting at number 3. Why does that even make any sense? Topuria should be out of the rankings at featherweight. He moved up a weight class. Number 4, Yair, who moved up 1 spot over Movsar Evloev, which somehow they're both ranked 4. But Yair's 1 spot ahead of Evloev. What are we doing? What are we doing? So first off, Diego Lopez at number 2 got absolutely dominated by Movsar Evloev. People were like, man, he went for submissions and didn't get them, man. Oh my God, he almost won. He was robbed, bro. Even if you don't agree with my assessment, Diego Lopez lost to Movsar Evloev. He lost to him. Yair Rodriguez is on a 1-fight win streak against a UFC debutant at 37 years old. And I don't know specifically what they're told when they're ranking these fighters, but how you got Ilia Topuria at number 3? I just don't get it. I really just don't get it. How are you pushing Movsar behind Yair? If anyone thinks that Yair would beat Movsar Evloev, they're smoking crack, okay? So we already have this absolute garbage of UFC rankings. I mean, I literally can't believe this. I can't fathom this. I could go off about the UFC rankings and pick and choose spots that are absolutely ridiculous, but that's not what this video is about. So let's start off with Jean Silva, okay? And I'm going to have to shrink this down so you can see the full thing here. Listen to this. This is Jean Silva's post on Twitter. I don't think anyone is going to give me anything. If it's not a title shot, then it better be a fight that puts me right there. But let's look at the facts. Volk says he wants to stay active and face the best in the division. I've already proven that I deserve it and that I am the best. Diego Lopez got a title shot with 5 wins and 1 loss, with 2 of those wins by decision. While I have 5 wins, all by finish. This is the fight that makes sense. I deserve it. I am ready. And then we also have, I faced the biggest knockout artist at lightweight and knocked him out. I took on one of the best grapplers in the division and submitted him. I beat a guy who had never been knocked out and I knocked him out. And I also faced a multi-time world kickboxing champion and knocked him out too. If I don't deserve a title shot, I don't know who does. I trust the UFC, Dana White, Hunter, and Sean Shelby. I'm ready for whatever they decide. I mean, if this isn't a joke, I don't know what is. Jean Silva thinks he deserves a title shot. This dude thinks he deserves a title shot so much he's posting these long screenshot notes on Twitter. Man, look what I've done. I don't even know who he's talking about half those things. Oh, he knocked out Drew Dober? Give me a break. Give me a break. You just beat Bryce Mitchell, who didn't even belong in the top 15. And now he's calling for a title shot. If you've been watching this channel for any period of time, when I talk about undeserved title shots, I talk about the slippery slope. It used to be a rarity to get an undeserved title shot. Be like, oh, well, it's just once in a year. And, you know, the guy who should get it's injured right now. We're getting an undeserved title shot because of that. Now it's commonplace. Every damn pay-per-view, undeserved title shot after undeserved title shot after undeserved title shot. And now you have Jean Silva calling for one. Not only there, but also in this interview with Ariel Helwani. And I'm not even going to play him asking for the title shot because it's translator and then, you know, it's him speaking and then the translator. But I want to play you a clip from the end of this interview with Ariel Helwani. Everything I'll show you in this video, I will link down in the description. I encourage you to go check it out. But I watched this full thing and Ariel trying to push for Jean Silva to get a title shot very subtly is driving me nuts. And I'm just going to show you a little bit of it. This is the end of the interview. You can't tell me Ariel's not pushing for Jean Silva to get a title shot here. Listen to this.
And thank you, Teresa. Great job by you as well. We appreciate it very much. There he is, Jean Silva. Incredible. And by the way, in case you're wondering about the resume, 13-fight winning streak, which includes also a win on Contender Series, made his UFC debut just 15 months ago, already 5-0 in the UFC, all 5 UFC wins by way of stoppage, 4 KOs, 1 sub, that was this past Saturday, currently tied with Steve Garcia for the longest active finish streak in the UFC. That's 5 in a row. So the man...
I can't tell if this is Ariel talking about Jean Silva or Michael Chandler talking about Conor McGregor. I mean, if this isn't the ultimate rim job, I don't know what is. Dude's spouting off his resume.
Is on a roll, and you heard it right there. He wants a title shot. We can talk about that on the back end of the program, but he called his shot. He wants Volkanovski. He says, I'm on a roll, and I step up for the UFC, and Movsar doesn't. Very interesting stuff there.
Very interesting stuff there, man. Very interesting. You can tell he's subtly trying to help campaign for Jean Silva to get a title shot because he does not want Movsar Evloev to get a title shot. And we're going to listen to a clip of him actively campaigning for Movsar Evloev in this video as well for full transparency, and I'm going to give my take on that as well. But yeah, interesting stuff, man. He said he does stuff for the UFC. Movsar Evloev just doesn't, man. Spouting off his resume. Jean Silva deserving a title shot's an absolute joke. You don't get a title shot for beating Bryce Mitchell. And, you know, I'll say it because probably nobody else will. We get it, Ariel. We get it. Jean Silva beat up Bryce Mitchell, who was hyping up Hitler. We get it, Ariel. You like Jean Silva. We get it, Ariel. We get it, okay? Now let's move ahead. We have the Yair Rodriguez interview. This guy's a fucking clown if I've ever seen one. Actually, listen to this, piss me off. Let's start right here. We're going to start right here with Yair saying he's focused on the title. I mean, it's just craziness.
In this game, we will have, like, more than anything, time to face each other at some point in our careers. For the championship or not or whatever, you know, but all my mind right now is obviously in what is more important is fighting for that belt against Volkanovski, and that's everything that is in my head right now.
That's everything that's in your head, right? I can tell. There's nothing else. There's not a brain in there. I mean, there's more to this interview, but let's take a look at Yair's win streak. Okay, he's 20-5. Let's take a look at his win streak. Oh, he's on a 1-fight win streak against a 37-year-old UFC debutant. Before that, he got finished by Brian Ortega. Before that, he got finished by Alexander Volkanovski, the guy who currently holds the title. Yeah, I'm itching to see that one. I'm itching to see that one ran back, brother. What a joke. This guy's like, all my mind is on the title right now. And in his post-fight interview in the cage at UFC 314, he was saying, yeah, I was promised a title shot. And I do believe if Diego Lopez would have won, I think the UFC would have booked Diego Lopez versus Yair Rodriguez for UFC Noche for the featherweight title, and they definitely would have screwed Movsar Evloev out of his title. That's almost a guarantee. Back to the Yair Rodriguez interview. We're going to listen to more of Yair Rodriguez talking about how he deserves the title. I mean, this is just a joke. Listen to this. He's asked about Movsar's streak, and he doesn't really say anything bad about Movsar, but he starts talking about, I got one win. I deserve to go for the title now.
Just curious, obviously you know about Movsar and the streak that he's on. What do you say to someone who says he's won 9 in a row, he should get a crack at the belt first?
Man, I don't know. You know, the only thing that I can tell you is that a fight against Volkanovski makes sense for me. I don't want to talk about like Movsar or whatever. He's an incredible fighter.
A fight against Alexander Volkanovski makes sense for me? You're on a 1-fight win streak, bro. You got finished in 2 out of your last 3.
He's a dangerous opponent, and he's coming from a win streak, you know. Now, what I hear from the UFC, you only have to come from a win, you know, and Volkanovski and I had a background fighting, you know, for the belt. I wasn't able to come with a win, but this time I'm pretty sure I will be able to come with a win.
So from the UFC, he's saying I only needed 1 win. This is a slippery slope we're now accepting. While the UFC gives out undeserved title shot after undeserved title shot, and we don't give the UFC backlash. Now Yair's like, yeah, I just needed 1 win, and now I'm back in title contention. You know what a joke the sport is becoming because of this? Because you have bad faith actors as well as, in the media, as well as fans, acting like, oh, this guy deserves a title shot just because they don't like a certain guy, just because they want WWE. It's a joke. And now we're talking a guy with a 1-fight win streak, got finished in 2 out of his last 3, campaigning for a title shot, acting like he deserves it. I mean, it's just crazy. And even in this last clip I'm going to show you from this interview, he literally says, I've earned my shot. Because Ariel's trying to push for this fight, which we'll talk about more later as well.
Because he wanted to like point it that I was coming from a loss, and I'll repeat that to him. Now he's the one coming from a loss. He needs to earn his opportunity to fight for the title or for whoever contention. And I'm now the one coming from a win, and I deserve a title shot.
What am I even supposed to say to that? Listen to this again.
I'm now the one coming from a win, and I deserve a title shot.
He deserves a title shot. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this video. This shit infuriates me, and fans justify this. Not particularly Yair. In this case, it seems like most people are saying, nah, Yair, what are you talking about? But this is the culture a lot of the fan base and a lot of the MMA media has endorsed. If Yair had star power, if Yair was a Conor McGregor or somebody with a notable name, they'd be co-signing this shit. The media and the fans, they'd be like, man, he's boring. We're going to get to Movsar being boring here in a little bit. But Yair is completely delusional, acting like he earned a title shot when he's gotten finished in 2 out of his last 3. He's lost 3 out of his last 6. What are we even talking about? What are we even talking about here? Completely delusional, especially when we have Movsar Evloev, who's on a 9-fight UFC win streak. 19-0 overall. And you got fans like, man, he's boring, man, this and that. Well, we're going to get to that. But let's listen to what Aaron Pico has to say. Because Aaron Pico is now pushing for a Jean Silva title shot, essentially. And dude just looks like a complete clown here. Let's listen. On Submissive Radio, okay?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I think, honestly, I think Jean Silva, I mean, he's 5-0 in the UFC with 5 finishes.
By the way, he starts the narrative of Movsar's boring in this clip as well. And he also talks about a fight between him and Movsar potentially coming together, which we'll get to in a second as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if he got the title shot, if I'm being completely honest. I think, but I don't know. That's just me. He put on a great performance. The crowd loved him, and he's starting to get a lot of fans, and I think he's very, very exciting. And Movsar is a great fighter, of course, but I think to the fans, it's very, very boring. So, in my opinion, what I think is going to happen, I think Jean Silva is going to get a title shot next. And I think that would be a great fight for Alexander Volkanovski. I think the fans would be excited. It would be a tough challenge for Alex. And
that's crazy. Yeah, the fans think Movsar's boring. Well, he's not wrong in that respect. But it's because people like him are not saying, yeah, I don't know why people are saying Movsar's boring. He's pretty exciting, which, again, we're going to talk about in a little bit. But to act like, oh, Movsar's so boring, let's give him Jean Silva. Jean Silva has beaten nobody. Bryce Mitchell? Some super low IQ bum from Arkansas who can't even fight? That's title shot worthy now? Beating up on Bryce. Let's give Josh Emmett a title shot then. Let's just throw Josh Emmett another title shot. Why not? He only fought for the interim title, but let's give Josh Emmett a title shot too. Next clip I want to show you from this interview, because we got a lot more to check out, is him talking about the Movsar fight. Because if you guys have been paying attention, it was reported that Movsar Evloev versus Aaron Pico was booked, and the next thing you know, it was being reported that it was off. It was never completely official. But here is Aaron Pico's version of events, and we're actually going to hear Movsar talk about it later in the video as well. We're going to check out his interview.
It was offered to me and Movsar, and to his credit, he took the fight, and it was on from what I was told. But I think as a few days went on, him and his team really reevaluated it. And
I don't like the way he said, so credit to him, he accepted the fight. But I think as the days went on, you think or you know? That's not something you think. Oh, yeah, I think his team's reevaluated and turned it down, which is essentially what he says. But we'll let him finish.
Understood the risk that was involved in it, fighting Aaron Pico, and he's number 4, so he had everything to lose. I had everything to gain, and you know I wasn't coming in the
facts, and it made no sense.
Fight to lose, so I took that fight without hesitation, just simply because I feel I'm a lot better than him. You know,
I'm pretty sure I just heard someone open and close a door in the background. Someone needs to WD-40 those hinges. Man, that was a nasty squeak there.
Biggest asset in the fighting is his wrestling, and that's mine, but I think I'm a lot better wrestler than him. So yeah, as a few days went on, they called me and said the fight wasn't going to happen. He was going to wait for Saturday, which was the Miami card, and I think after Saturday, I don't think that he's going to get the title shot next, if I'm just being honest.
So from what he's hearing, he doesn't think he's getting the title shot. But he would know all about that because he's one of these guys, oh man, I'm a wrestler. But for some reason, the wrestlers get the Dana White privilege. The American wrestlers get the Dana White privilege. The NCAA wrestlers get the Dana White privilege. So he's like, yeah, man, from what I'm seeing on Saturday, he's not getting the title shot. Jean Silva's going to get a title shot. What an absolute disgrace to the sport that would be. Now let's watch the clip that... I don't know if I can watch this. Somebody told me to listen to this, and I wish I wouldn't have. So this is like Ariel Helwani's boys. This is on the channel. I don't know. I don't know who these guys are, to be quite honest. And normally I wouldn't include something like this in the video, but I'm considering these guys a conduit to the fan base because what I heard right here really pissed me off. Let's listen. They talk about Movsar Evloev getting the next title shot, which he rightfully has earned. Let's listen.
Okay, let's play matchmaker for at least like the main card and a couple of the big prelim winners. Let's stick with Patty because I just want to throw this out there. Volkanovski, Movsar Evloev should be next. Diego Lopez, Yair Rodriguez, and Guadalajara. Does anyone disagree with those two?
Now, you say should. Are you saying you want it, or are you saying it should be?
Oh, shut up, you little pussy. You saying you want it? Or are you saying it should be? Do you want it? Yeah, God forbid some people maybe want the champion to fight the actual #1 contender, even if the rankings are an absolute joke. You sure you want that, Baldy? You sure you want that? And then this exchange just drove me nuts.
I don't want it, but I think that's what should and will be next. Alex Volkanovski versus Movsar Evloev.
I think that will be next. It's not what I want, but I think it will be next.
What do you want, Jean Silva?
Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it.
Nobody wants it. But I mean,
nobody wants Evloev. Nobody.
At some point, you have to give it to him. I mean, we've seen.
Yeah, you have to give it. Nobody wants it. These guys are considered like the mainstream MMA media. They're on Ariel Helwani show. Nobody wants it. I swear on my life, the majority of MMA media, as well as like MMA content creators on YouTube, Twitter, wherever else, just dick ride whatever they think is popular so they can seem like they're in the popular club. And nobody wants Movsar, bro. God forbid that there's actually fans that want it to be a sport and not WWE. God forbid that some of us want a semblance of meritocracy. And these clowns are like, nobody wants it. They're essentially saying, Movsar's boring, bro, which is a massive narrative in the MMA community, which is completely false, but we'll get to that. It's just crazy. Like, well, it should happen, but I don't want it to happen. I want Jean Silva to get the title shot. I mean, these guys are clowns, man. And this is a conduit to a large swath of the MMA fan base, which I don't know to the full extent how large the anti-Movsar Evloev title shot fan club is. I haven't paid enough attention. I'll know based on the comments on this video. But what a joke, man. It should happen, but I don't want it. So you don't want a sport. You don't want any legitimacy to a title. Because Movsar Evloev is the clear-cut #1 contender. But let's carry on.
Seen it with Bilal, long winning streak, finally gets it, wins the belt. Magomed Ankalaev, long winning streak, finally gets the shot and gets the belt. Leon Edwards had to go through a long winning streak, wins it, finally gets the belt. Like you just have to, you can only win so many times in the UFC before you're just going to get a title shot. And right now, from a circumstantial standpoint, it works out for Movsar. There's no,
from a meritocracy standpoint. But I agree with most of what he said there.
No one that's sticking head and shoulders above.
What I want and will not get is Ilia Topuria. I want Volk and Ilya.
Oh, Ilya and
That's what I
Volk to run
want,
it
but
back.
I won't get it. But
That's the dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard. That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my entire life. Old man Volkanovski would get brutally slept in a Topuria rematch. Luckily, there's no chance of that even happening. But what a dumb idea. These guys are complete casuals, and they're on Ariel Helwani's show. I mean, Ariel's borderline a casual nowadays. But that clip really irritated me because they acted like, almost like it was a death in the family, conceding to the fact that Movsar Evloev should be next. They acted like it was some inconvenience. Movsar is undefeated 19-0 on a 9-fight UFC win streak against elite level guys. And it's some type of disgusting act for him to get his rightfully earned title shot. And you notice there's a common theme with this, guys? Oh, Ankalaev, Bilal, now Movsar. Is there a common theme there? You guys tell me. I can't place it. You guys tell me. Because it aligns with a large portion of the MMA fan base. But let's jump ahead because I want to show you this clip because I felt like if I left this clip out, I left some context out because here's them talking about the title shot and saying Movsar Evloev needs to be next. But I want to play it and give my reaction to this because this actually pissed me off too.
Do we all agree it's going to be Movsar? It has to be Movsar, right?
and his coach seems to be signaling toward that. I guess that's it.
Feels like that's the one. I mean, he's on a 9-fight winning streak, albeit.
They seem horrified. Like, man, Alexander Volkanovski's called for it. Volkanovski's coach is saying it. Man, they were hoping and praying Volkanovski would push for an undeserved title shot, an undeserved contender, so that they can get behind it. Diego Lopez shouldn't have got a title shot over Movsar. Now you're going to jump over him again? And it's even crazier when you listen to what Movsar had to say in his recent interview. But they're like disgusted, man, that Movsar Evloev is going to get a title shot. Yeah, man, it has to be him. He's on a 9-fight win streak. Like, I mean, seriously. It's one fight, dude. It's one fight. It's a title fight. Look at this. I mean, if this... I know you could pause it and say anybody's happy or mad, but look at this. Do these look like three guys who actually care about a meritocracy of the sport? But I wanted to include this clip again so it wasn't completely out of context, the clip I showed you before with his boys on the other show.
It all by decision, but I think
Yair is really pushing for this fight in Mexico, but
I just don't think
if you're
he's already lost to Volk. He got finished by Volk. He's on a 1-fight winning streak.
God, the disgust on... I swear Ariel will do anything to cheat a Muslim fighter out of a rightfully earned title shot. I swear on my life. I used to not think this. I swear on my life. Dude's like, oh, Yair wants it in Mexico, man. How do we make this happen? And then this guy's like, man, all decisions. He's so boring.
I think meritocracy needs to reign here, and you need to give it to Mo.
Also, for what it's worth,
Facts, Baldy.
Volk doesn't seem to want to wait till like a September range.
I know, I love it. He gets the belt back. He's like, I'm ready for July, October. Fighter of the year. Here I come.
Ariel's got the wheels in motion in his head. How do we cheat Movsar out of his title shot? Because I have significant influence over the MMA community. Let me push a narrative and pray it sticks.
He's crazy.
I mean, comeback fight of the year, no doubt, if it continues this way. No, it has to be Movsar. I said on Saturday I thought they were going to go back to Australia, but it sounds like it might be a fight night, not a pay-per-view, so that wouldn't make any sense. I don't think Volk needs to go to enemy territory if he wants to. God bless him. But, I mean, Movsar's right there. You know, the winning streak speaks for itself.
Exactly, and that's what you should be saying. The winning streak speaks for itself against elite-level opposition. So why are you entertaining guys on 1-fight win streaks? Or guys who haven't even fought top-ranked guys? It's an absolute joke. The last thing I want to show you that has to do with Ariel Helwani, and I highlighted this in another video, this dude was praying that Diego Lopez would win so that he could say, man, look, I know Movsar deserves it, but you have to make he would have said you have to make Diego Lopez versus Yair Rodriguez. I mean, think about how fucking stupid this is. Man, they pointed at each other at a press conference and talked about each other. They pointed at each other. He tweeted this out. The stars align with the results on Saturday. This will be a perfect Noche 3 main or co-main. He was talking about a title fight here. Diego Lopez beating Volkanovski, Yair beating Pitbull. The stars have aligned. Let's cheat Movsar out of a title shot. That's what he was hoping and praying for because that was an easy narrative to sell on his show. Promise you. I promise you that. And it's truly disgraceful that these guys are supposed to be covering the sport as MMA media. This is why MMA media is dying, okay? Because it's only what narrative can I push next, instead of actually trying to hold the UFC somewhat accountable, and let's actually keep some semblance of a meritocracy, which at this point it seems out the window, and the media doesn't care about it. A lot of the fans don't seem to care about it anymore. And it's a disgrace, and people acting like Movsar Evloev, man, he's a decision machine. He doesn't deserve to get a title shot, blah-de, blah-de, blah-de. Can I even react to those narratives? I don't know. We're going to listen to his interview here in a second, which, I mean, I think it's actually going to shock a lot of people who are Movsar Evloev haters for literally no reason. But really quickly, Movsar Evloev, 9-0 in the UFC, has nothing but decisions in the UFC. Aljamain Sterling fight, literally one of the most exciting fights on the entire card, possibly the best fight on the UFC 310. Okay, Arnold Allen. I don't remember the prelims. Literally the best fight on the main card, UFC 297. Dana White at the post-fight presser came out and shit on it afterwards. Was going to include that in this video, but then I realized this video is going to be way too long. Absolutely the best fight on the main card. You can make an argument for the main event. I wouldn't. Arnold Allen, Movsar Evloev was a great fight. Diego Lopez, great fight. Great fight. It was Movsar dominating him on the ground, but Diego Lopez scrambling for submissions and not getting them. Okay, but had some tenseful moments. The Dan Ige fight. Dan Ige was arguably in his prime at this point in time, and Movsar beat the dog shit out of him. I mean, so seriously, we're talking about his last 4 fights, all against top guys, all relatively exciting fights. Finishes don't always just mean that's the only way a fight can be exciting. A decision can also be exciting, and all 4 of these were exciting. Now, I don't remember Hakeem Dawodu from early 2021. I don't remember Nick Lentz from early 2021. But like, finishes aren't everything. Alexander Volkanovski doesn't have a finish for, what, 2 years now? He has one finish in like the last 3 years against Yair Rodriguez. Give me a break. Okay, give me a break. Now let's lastly look at the Movsar Evloev interview, because I think this is very interesting, because it just shows that he's truly the uncrowned champ at featherweight. Okay, I've been saying that for like a week now. Movsar is the uncrowned champ. Listen to this. Just listen to it. I'm not even going to give you any context.
Since this fight, nothing. Yeah, like UFC trying to give this shot for other person. But I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And if you have like more deserved contender for the title, just let me test him. Yeah.
How can you not respect that? If there's a guy who's more deserving, let me test him then. I'll fight that guy then. I'll earn my shot. By the way, I'm going to link every video I showed you in this video down in the description. Mike Bond actually is a very good interviewer. He doesn't seem like one of these weirdos in the MMA media. Go check out the actual interview. It's about 7 minutes long. I encourage you to go check it out. Leave a comment, like the video, because this was actually a good interview, informative interview that I'm now using in my video. So anyway, let's continue, because he talks about Aaron Pico here in a minute.
Yeah, if you don't give me a title, just give me your contenders. Okay, I'm here to test your guys, UFC. So what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I mean, and you were willing. You accepted the fight with Aaron Pico, right? They didn't want to do it. So, like, you're doing everything you should be doing.
Yeah, they just gave me a name, and I said yes, because I'll stay active, yeah. And then Pico also accept this fight, and then UFC trying to delay this fight for later. And I said, okay, I'm not gonna wait so long, so I need someone. Or if they give me title shot, I will wait for title.
So there you go. I mean, how can you not respect that? I'll fight Aaron Pico, one of the best prospects coming into the UFC, a debutant, even though I'm ranked in the top 5. I'll fight any contenders who you think deserve it more than me. How can you not respect that? If they're going to give me the title shot, I'll wait for it. But I'll fight anyone. He accepted the Pico fight. They wanted to move it farther back, so he said no. Give me someone sooner, or I'll wait for the title shot. How can you not respect that? Next clip I'm going to show you. He just reiterates the same thing. Look, I'll wait for Volk. I'll give Volk as long as he needs. But if that's not going to happen, I'll fight anyone else. Because I'm waiting for the for the people, the Dagestani haters. I know Movsar's from the Caucasus region. I'm waiting for those people to say, man, Movsar doesn't fight. Movsar's inactive. That's going to be the next narrative, even though he's trying to fight and people are turning him down, and his inactivity has never been his fault. You know, some of the inactivity has been, oh, he can't find an opponent, or, you know, whatever else may be going on. You've never heard anyone say Movsar turned me down ever. It's never happened. Let's carry on.
Of the year, I'll wait for him because he deserves it. But if you're looking for someone else, so just give me another one.
If Volkanovski's looking to fight someone else, just give me another one. I'll take on anyone. I'll earn my shot. This dude's the uncrowned champ, and I'll die on that hill. Next clip we're going to take a look at is he addresses the no finishes here. Listen to this.
Strong, and like he didn't feel it. And his punch also.
You're listening to the tail end of him talking about Volk versus Lopez, and then he talks about potentially him fighting Volk, and then he says, oh, well, I'll fight anyone. It doesn't really matter. And then he talks about the finishes. You'll hear Mike Bond follow up.
Heavy. So it will be a good fight. Who knows? If not Volkanovski, anyone.
Does it give you hope, though, that Volkanovski is saying, like, I do want to fight him. I like that he's undefeated, and I want to...
I believe that if we ask Volkanovski, he will fight because he's real champ. But we don't know if UFC need it.
I love it. Volkanovski's already said he wants to fight Movsar. He's undefeated. Volk's coach has come out and said it as well. They'll fight Movsar because he is the real champ. Anyone, anywhere, anytime. Instead of some of these frauds hand-picking opponents and wanting to fight guys coming off catastrophic injuries and being protected by the UFC. Volkanovski doesn't want that. And I'll tell you right now, the UFC was praying Volkanovski would lose to Diego Lopez because Diego Lopez was an undeserving contender as well, who Movsar beat, and then somehow Diego Lopez gets a title shot over him and is somehow ranked above him. So the rankings are absolute clown show as well. But he's asked about the lack of finishes here.
Why do you think they're not just like more excited? Do you think it's because you haven't finished anyone in the UFC yet? Do you think that's what's holding you back?
I don't know, maybe because the only thing they can talk is just I have no finish. So
yeah. It's literally the only thing that can be said.
Yeah.
And again, we've already went over that. Those fights were literally exciting. His last 4 fights against elite opposition were literally exciting. And he's fighting the top guys. It's not easy to finish the top guys. Put Movsar against Sadiq Youssef, Pat Sabatini, guarantee finishes them. Okay? Guarantee finishes them. Oh, who finished them? Diego Lopez. Okay? So if he wasn't fighting such a tough onslaught of contenders, maybe he would have more finishes. But he's 9-0, 19-0 to overall record, 9-0 in the UFC. And people are acting like he doesn't deserve it somehow because, oh, he doesn't have finishes, man. He doesn't have any finishes. It makes absolutely no sense. Let's carry on a couple more clips. He's asked about Yair wanting a title shot. And, I mean, it's just kind of funny. He's kind of thinking, why would Yair get a title shot?
It's a dangerous opponent. It was a good fight, but I don't think that's enough to fight for the title again. Because he have chance and he just skip it, right?
Yeah. He had a chance already, and he lost. 1 fight win streak. Meanwhile, he's on a 9-fight UFC streak, never been beaten in his entire MMA career. Makes no sense. 2 more clips. He says maybe they'll give it to Jean Silva, but if not, I'll fight Jean Silva too. Listen to this.
Maybe they will give it to him. I don't know. But like I said, if you have contender who deserve it more than I, just let me test him.
So basically,
how can you not love that? I'll fight anyone. You think there's a deserving contender? I'll fight anyone. How can you not respect that? And then the last clip, because I know I'm waiting for some fake narratives to come out from MMA fans. Man, he's demanding Abu Dhabi. He only wants to fight a certain month, man. He's demanding this, demanding that. Let's see what he has to say about time frame as well as location.
Even if like September, October, or December, doesn't matter. I can wait how many he need. But if they have another one for the title, I'm not gonna wait too much.
Would you be okay to go fight him in Australia?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was good. It will be good.
He'll fight Alexander Volkanovski in Australia. If Volkanovski's going to fight someone else, he ain't going to wait around. He wants to fight anyone. He'll fight a guy who you think's more deserving than him right now. He'll fight Jean Silva. So how can you not respect this and say, you know what? This guy has earned his title fight. And by the way, Alexander Volkanovski versus Movsar Evloev is a banger fight. I don't get how people don't think that's a good fight. They're smoking crack. They're casuals. You don't watch the sport. I'm convinced you're a WWE fan. So, listen, I'll sum up the video by saying Alexander Volkanovski versus Movsar Evloev needs to happen next. Movsar is not boring, okay? That's totally made up by a portion of the MMA community that doesn't want him to get a title shot next for whatever reason. Fill in the blank. And it's a banger fight. Yair Rodriguez, 1-fight win streak? Yeah, fucking right. Get out of here. Diego Lopez just got an undeserved title shot after he was beaten by Movsar Evloev relatively recently. Jean Silva literally beating up scrubs. We're going to give him a title shot because he beat a couple scrubs. He looks promising. I'm high on him. Let's give him a top-ranked fight next. Let him beat up Yair Rodriguez for all I care. But to say, oh, I beat Bryce Mitchell, let me get a title shot, what a complete joke that is. The UFC needs to make Volkanovski versus Movsar Evloev for the title next. Otherwise, this sport is a complete disgrace. The fans should be campaigning for this fight, and shame on anyone who's trying to push narratives to give Yair Rodriguez or Jean Silva, I lost his name for a second there, Jean Silva a title shot, because that would be a complete joke. And I hope the MMA fan base actually says, you know what, these guys who've been denied title shots usually end up winning. When you protect the champion from a certain contender, historically it seems like that guy ends up dethroning them. So let's just get it out of the way now. And I would love to see Volk. I mean, he's not in his prime, but let's not wait another year. I don't want to see Volk falling off a cliff, you know, barely squeaking by somebody and then fighting Movsar and losing. I want to see Alexander Volkanovski versus Movsar Evloev in 2025. Volk, to his credit, says he wants to fight Evloev next. Volk's coach said the same. Hopefully it actually happens. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for watching.